Now at 10, Pittsburgh city leaders bring the issue of homelessness before the city commission. Plus, Joplin renames a bridge to honor a police officer killed in the line of duty. And Pittsburgh Community School District welcomes the public.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
City officials listen to a plan to address homelessness in the Pittsburgh area. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. KOAM's Anthony Saviello joins us live in the studio with details.
Thanks, Dow. The Pittsburgh Community Health Center, in collaboration with other organizations, brought forward a plan on how to first understand homelessness in the area and then address it. According to CHC Representative Becky Gray, as of 2022, approximately 112 homeless reside in Pittsburgh. Gray says as the number continues to rise, so does the need to create and execute the plan to provide housing, shelters, and resources for those who live on the street. She also says the current system of getting homeless into a house is predominantly tenant-based housing vouchers. However, for those who are homeless and seeking these vouchers, one issue is that by federal law, they are required to send out by mail. Gray also pointed out the need for an overnight shelter within Pittsburgh. By not having a shelter, those who live on the street continue to remain there and are less likely to get the help they need. There must also be a system to help those who have been homeless to get back into the routine of engaging and involved with the community. Gray then laid out a plan for what they want to see happen to improve the issue, starting with the operation of an overnight shelter, which has already had funds raised but now needs to find a location. The overall goal is to make homelessness, quote, rare and brief. One solution noted that would have significant positive effects would be the construction of just 20 to 30 housing units and having continuous reviews and evaluations to prevent a relapse cycle. Overall, this meeting highlighted the need to provide services and housing solutions that would greatly alleviate the issue of people on the street. You can view the entire meeting through a link posted on our website. Dow, back to you.
Anthony, thanks. Boy, we're enjoying some beautiful weather. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it turned out to be a great Tuesday for us today. 79 for a high, just about perfect. We started at 61 during the morning hours. Now, average high is 83, so a few notches below where we should be for this time of the year, but we'll take it. And it feels fantastic out there right now. It's 60 in Monette. If you go down to Grove, it's 65. You have Lamar at 62. Pitt, 65. Chanute is sitting at 64 degrees. So temperature is very comfortable. We have partly cloudy skies. We do have some clouds which are skirting through, especially in our southern counties. And I do think we're going to get a little bit of patchy fog in here as we go through the overnight hours. So if you are going to be on the road, watch out for that. Mid-50s though, that patchy fog, near 80 again tomorrow. Rain chances later this week. We'll talk about that here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Members of the public came out today for a bridge renaming ceremony honoring a fallen Joplin police officer. The ceremony took place on the newly named Officer Jake Reed Memorial Bridge, located at 1200 East 20th Street. During the ceremony, Officer Reed's family received the Joplin Police Department Medal of Honor. Officer Reed was killed in the line of duty in March of last year. Cherokee County Economic Development Corporation organized a job fair in Baxter Springs, Kansas. The fair was open to the community, but the first hour of the fair was dedicated to job seekers who've been recently laid off due to Yellow Freight and King Louis closings. The organizers wanted to showcase the job opportunities in Baxter Springs and surrounding areas.
There were several employees, 70 plus, who are set to lose their employment, and so that can't help but have an effect on the economy. So that's kind of the point of the job fair, is that we're hoping if they can continue their employment and not have that loss of income, then that will help our entire county and the whole region as a whole.
That fair ran from 1 to 4 this afternoon at First Christian Church. School sports are back to an old issue, a shortage of referees. In the region, every week, about 6 high school football games are being played on Thursdays or Saturdays instead of Fridays because of that shortage. The Joplin High School football team, for example, had to move their first home game of the season to a Thursday because there just weren't enough officials for a Friday night football game. But football is not alone. Other high school sports are also impacted.
Particularly in the outdoor sports and in spring, there's a lot of schedule changes due to the weather. And so you might have 12 games one night and only have enough officials to cover 9 of those games.
You know, a big reason is also fans, that they're very tough on officials, and you know, we need all of our fans to remember that this is education-based athletics. They're there to support our team and our students. And
according to the Joplin Umpire Association, this has been a trend in the last 5 years, this shortage of referees and umpires. They're encouraging people who might be interested in becoming a referee or ump to contact them. Pittsburgh Community Schools today gave the public an inside look at the newly renovated middle school. The renovations are centered around the original portion of the building constructed back in 1921. The district added a modern science lab, an ADA compliant elevator, and renovated the school's auditorium.
Well, there's a little back room in there. I would do that for wrestling. That would be a good place for wrestling.
The renovations were funded through a voter-approved bond. The Missouri governor has appointed a new member to the state Supreme Court. His choice is St. Louis Eastern District Appeals Court Judge Kelly Broniak. With this newest appointment, women will make up a majority of the judges on the state's highest court. Mark Slavitt has more.
Broniak stood by her husband Mark and 2 daughters, Katie and Hannah, as she accepted her new position on the Missouri Supreme Court. Her appointment means that for now, a majority of the judges on the Missouri Supreme Court will be women. Missouri is only one of 11 states that has a majority of women on its Supreme Court.
I will do my best to bring common sense, practicality, and respect for the rule of law to my work at the court, along with the important values of humility, kindness, and hard work.
The 52-year-old Montgomery City resident will replace retiring Judge George W. Draper III. Governor Parson will make his 3rd appointment to the Missouri Supreme Court when Judge Patricia Breckenridge retires next month after turning 70, the court's mandatory retirement age. Broniak's appointment may also shift the state Supreme Court to a more conservative view. The court will only have 2 judges who were appointed by a Democrat governor.
She worked hard, worked her way up, and now I know she'll work even harder for the people of the state of Missouri in our state's highest court.
Broniak will become the 6th woman to serve as a Missouri Supreme Court justice. Coming up, CDC advisors recommend updated COVID-19 vaccines for all Americans 6 months of age and older. Plus, a group in Parsons, Kansas hosts a fundraiser to help make some dreams come true. The CDC director signed off on the agency's independent vaccine advisor's recommendation for updated COVID vaccines for all Americans 6 months old and older. The committee voted 13-1 in favor of the recommendation today, and later in the day, the director agreed. 2 updated mRNA vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna will be available in pharmacies this week. The committee's endorsement means vaccines will be covered by public and private insurance plans. The new vaccines have been updated to fend off the currently circulating viruses that cause COVID. They're arriving amid a late summer uptick in COVID hospitalizations and deaths. People who consider themselves night owls are at a higher risk for diabetes. They're also more likely to have unhealthy behaviors such as smoking, poor sleep, and physical activity compared to those who identify as morning people. The results also suggest those who work night shifts but are morning people might also be at a higher risk for health issues. An FDA advisory panel decided unanimously that a common decongestant ingredient found in many over-the-counter cold medicines is ineffective. Danya Bacchus reports.
A panel of 16 advisors to the FDA says the leading decongestant used by millions of Americans likely provides no more relief than a placebo pill. Dr. Jennifer Lay is a member of the group that voted unanimously against the effectiveness of the key drug found in popular oral versions of Sudafed, Allegra, Dayquil, and other over-the-counter products for a stuffy nose.
We made the recommendation to withdraw all currently available oral formulation of phenylephrine at 10 milligram as the OTC products.
The vote moves the fate of those oral medicines containing the ingredient phenylephrine into the FDA's hands. In a statement, the Consumer Healthcare Products Association said the ingredient is safe and effective.
Talk to your local pharmacist, local provider about what the alternatives are, because there are. That can be used effectively.
Phenylephrine became the main drug in over-the-counter decongestants when medicines with an older ingredient, pseudoephedrine, were moved behind pharmacy counters more than 15 years ago because it can be legally processed into methamphetamine. Those original versions of decongestants remain available without a prescription. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
The panel of advisors told the FDA that studying phenylephrine at higher doses was not an option because it can push blood pressure to potentially dangerous levels. A Parsons, Kansas organization today hosted a barbecue to help fund some future adventures. The Dream Advocacy Group provides resources and experiences for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Some of those experiences come in the form of group trips, and today's event raised money for those trips.
It's very important because people out there needs people to stand up for them, and needs the support of us as officers and advisors to support people in advocating for them.
People at that event could get a barbecue lunch for just $5. A little bit later, PSU serves up a conference matchup against Newman on the volleyball court. John's going to have details for us in sports.
Plus, we're going to be serving up a little bit of patchy fog for us tonight. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be a great Tuesday for us today. We had quite a bit of sunshine after a little bit of rain last night, which, hey, we definitely needed. And then partly sunny skies today. High temps mainly into the upper 70s, which is pretty good. Nice shot. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. All right, rainfall since midnight. Most of the rain was out of here, so only 2/100ths of an inch. But for the month, 6/10ths of an inch. Unfortunately for the year, only 22. Should be at 33, so we're still 11 inches below, and that gap keeps getting a little bit bigger. So if we look at our drought tracker, mainly along and south of I-44, you guys are doing pretty good. It's as you travel north, I-49, once you get into Barton, Vernon County, and then into our western counties. That's where the drought is a little bit worse. All right, temperatures great. 60 in Stockton, 68 Anderson, 63 in Miami. Iola is sitting at 61. When you go outside, here's 7th, here's Rangeline, sitting at 61. Now look at our dew point, 55 degrees, so our relative humidity is 81%. As our temperature drops to that point, relative humidity goes up with light winds, you get patchy fog, and that's what we're going to have later on tonight. So watch out for the fog. We'll dip back to about 55, back to 69 by 10 a.m. And you can see a few little clouds kind of scooting through, mainly our southern counties, but most of the Central Plains is looking pretty good. So let's go west. You can see a couple little ripples in our upper level wind pattern. This is a weak wave that will start to affect us later on in the week. Next couple days look okay. So let me take you through time. We're going to stop. 7 a.m. Look at our temps. 53 Lamar, 54 in Neosho, 54 in Welch, Parsons 56. So very comfortable, almost chilly start across the region. Partly sunny through the day. By noon, mid 70s, and then I'm going to stop at 4 p.m. 81 in Stockton, Columbus 79, Neosho 79, Welch about 80 degrees. So maybe a degree warmer than what we saw today. All right, tomorrow night, back down, mid 50s again, partly cloudy skies. Let's go into Thursday. Very similar, partly sunny skies, high temperatures right around 80. degrees. So we get a couple really nice days. Again, watch out for the fog in the morning. 74 by noon, 78 by 4 p.m., high temp of 79 degrees. Our next little wave giving us at least a few showers. This starts to roll in late Friday night, some scattered light showers. So not widespread, just scattered showers into Saturday morning, and then most of Saturday afternoon looks pretty good. By Sunday, great day, but look at our temps. We're back into low to mid 80s, so we're going to start to slowly climb the scale as we head into the weekend and also early next week. 79 tomorrow, 80 on Thursday, 81 Friday, 83 on Saturday, and then we kind of creep into the upper 80s, back to near 90 by the middle of next week. But overall, we're getting some pretty good weather conditions.
A little sneak preview of fall, lows in the 50s. That's pretty chilly.
Almost chilly tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Hey, you've heard the expression, go into the dogs. Well, looks like parts of Pittsburgh are going to the goats. The city of Pittsburgh hired about 36 goats to help clear away brush from the city's parks this week. The four-legged lawn mowers come from Oscar Mike Goat Rental, a veteran-owned and operated vegetation management company. For park staff, well, the addition seemed like a logical solution.
I think Robert has estimated this area behind us would take a day and a half to 2 days, and then we've got several more areas that we'll move them to once they get this complete to our satisfaction. I think they reduce it down to about a 50 to 70% removal of the vegetation.
The goats were brought in to take down invasive weeds and hazardous vegetation while reducing the city's chemical footprint. Still ahead, Pitt State Volleyball opens MIAA play at home against Newman tonight, and conference rivals Webb City and Carthage square off on the softball diamond. John Dales has highlights from that and more coming up next.
We're in the thick of the fall sports season, and that means a lot more than just football. Pitt State Volleyball began its season just over a week ago. It hosted a tournament this past weekend, and this evening, the Gorillas opened their conference slate. Taking on MIAA foe Newman, the Gorillas jump out to an early lead in the first set. Seville Gates spikes this one home for a 22-10 lead at that point. Couple of serves later, Jerica Jackson gets the kill, and the Gorillas take the first set on that point. Jets showed some signs of life in the second set, though. Natalie Meyer with this big block. Newman would lead 11-6. The Gorillas win 7 straight points in the second set, though, including this kill from Janae Thurston. They take the second set as well. More of the same here in the third. Ivy Fink and Thurston keeping this point alive. Very long rally once it gets back towards the Gorillas, though. Fink sets up Thurston for the big-time spike. Gorillas win their MIAA opener in straight sets, 3-0 over Newman. Carthage and Webb City softball matchup today, coming in on opposite ends of the spectrum. The Tigers have lost 4 of their last 5. Cardinals winners in 5 of their last 6 entering this afternoon. Conference rivals meeting for the first time this season. Starting out in the top of the first, Ashlyn Brust rips one down the line into left field. She reaches base with a single. Next batter is Brooklyn Dolan Main. Hammers a pitch to left center. That'll drop down. Brust chugs around to third. She'd come in to score later in the inning, 1-0 Tigers. Same score in the second. Addison Brown sends one into left field. Base hit. She would get stranded at first, though. Still 1-0 in the third. Addison Wallace gets one of her 6 strikeouts on the day. She'd go 7 innings, only allowing 2 hits. Carthage rips this one open in the fourth. Bases loaded. J.C. Bayless, grounder up the middle. Everybody's safe. Bases still loaded. Brust at the plate again. Hot shot up the middle. Everyone moves forward. Another base again. The Tigers go for 8 runs in the fourth inning. They win on the road 9-1. Elsewhere in the COC, Neosho wins big on the road today. The Kinnard sisters led the way for a Wildcat victory. Carly throws 4 scoreless innings in the circle of 1, and her sister, Autumn, has 5 hits, including a 3-run homer. Winning on the road would be a theme today. Seneca, one day removed from getting its first win of the season at Carl Junction, takes down McDonald County 9-6. Abby Jamrose gets the win pitching and picks up 3 RBIs off a triple and a double at the plate. Back to volleyball, Pitt State. Early in the season for them, they're going to have a lot more games coming up, playing a road game at number 25 this weekend, but very good start for them. Really didn't struggle in their conference opener.
That's good. Let's see if we can keep that going.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Look at this. Footage emerged of a river of red wine running through the streets of a Portuguese village. 2 tanks owned by the Lavera Distillery failed on Sunday, releasing some 2.2 million liters of wine to the streets of São Lourenço do Barrio. The wine covered the entire width of the street. It really was almost literally a river of wine. The woman who captured this video says wine spill on her camera. Said that she saw the wine residue on her walls. The wine drenched her plants. Officials reportedly said the tanks dumped enough wine into the streets to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. A lot of red wine going to waste, I guess.
It's like the Red Sea.
Exactly.
Just no parting.
There you go. So. There you go.
All right, weather-wise, chilly tonight. We're going to drop back into the mid-50s for overnight lows. Very similar tomorrow compared to what we saw today. Partly sunny, high temp, pushing 80.
Final sports note.
We're through week 1 of the NFL season. I think fans of the Chiefs, they say, yeah, we lost, but could be a lot worse. Could be like the Jets, lose your starting quarterback for the whole year.
Exactly. I think Chiefs fans are still feeling good about this season. I am, for one.
Yeah,
anyway.
and you get Chris Jones back, too.
We just need to relax.
Travis Kelce, maybe this coming game. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.